Hey, good evening. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to cook a 10-ounce Texas Warehouse filet mignon and a baked potato. The baked potato, I can't take credit for this recipe. I got it off of cooksillustrated.com. I am a member. I've subscribed to their magazine and their websites. But if you cook a baked potato like I'm going to show you tonight, you will always cook your baked potatoes this way, especially if you like potato skins if you go to a restaurant. You take the potato, you wash it, then you're going to poke holes in it with a fork 3 times on each side. We're going to roll it in salt water, which is a half a cup of water to 2 tablespoons of salt. Once you get the potato all wet with the salt water, you're going to put it on a baking sheet. Now I don't put it on a baking sheet, I put it on a rack. I don't want that brown spot on the bottom from the baking sheet. So get the rack, get your potato wet, you bake it. Now you're going to bake this potato till it hits 205 degrees. Once it hits 205, you're going to take it out and you're going to coat it with vegetable oil and then coarse salt and pepper, and you're going to bake it for another 10 minutes. So for the potato, I have 2 smokes from ThermoWorks. I have a smoke that I'm going to use inside for the potato, and I have another smoke that I'm going to use outside on the REC-TEC. And I also have a smoke gateway, which allows the smoke base unit to connect to the internet to an app through ThermoWorks. And the nice thing about that is I'm going to graft this cook. And I just want to show you that how stable that REC-TEC maintains temperature. My REC-TEC, if I set it for 225, it's not 225 where I put the meat. So I put a probe in there and I adjust the REC-TEC till I get 225 at my meat. So I may have to bump it up to 235, 240, but once you get that REC-TEC set to what you want for temperature, it will maintain that until it runs out of pellets. So we'll get started here and I'll see you in a bit. I've heard a lot of people complain about the cover to the REC-TEC grill. The REC-TEC grill cover fits like a glove. And I'm happy about that. I live in South Florida, thunderstorms blow up out of nowhere. This cover has never come off this grill. Actually, I've already undone the 4 straps. There's 4 that go around each caster to hold that grill. But once you figure out how this cover goes on and off, it's a piece of cake. And I'll show you how I've come up with what I do. If you take the front piece off first, and get that up, and then you get this little arm over here off the bullhorn, and then take the back cover off. Now you just pull up the other back side of the cover. That grill cover comes right off. And to put it on, just do it backwards. I have a sheet on my grill because I noticed when I had the cover on, when the yard guys would do my yard and come on my patio and they would blow, all the dirt and sand on my paver patio would get up underneath the cover and it would end up on my grill. So what I've done is I've opted to put a sheet on this and I just tie knots in it to make sure that it stays tight. Once I undo the knots on each end, that thing's shiny as can be and ready to go. I have my ThermoWorks smoke. I have the probe in there. We're going to have the meat probe, temperature probe inside here. We're going to fire up the REC-TEC. Last time I cooked, it was at 250. I'm going to set this for probably 230 for right now to see where that grill temperature comes up. Right now you'll see that the little cool here for Florida, but that's okay. We got 66. I still have the temp probe for the meat laying on the foldable shelf. The bottom probe is the grill. So we'll let this baby heat up and then we'll go from there. Okay, my remote for inside for the smoke says 139. The gateway through ThermoWorks says 128. There's about a minute to a minute and a half delay from the up there. We go 142 with the update, and we got 142.6 on the remote, and that's what the grill says out there. So once this hits 225, 230, I'll go ahead and put the potato in, and then we'll let it go. Okay, the RecTec is at right about 200 right now. And this potato is probably going to take an hour. It's kind of big, it might take a little more, so I want to give this a little head start. I'd rather have I don't want the potato rock hard when the steak is done. I anticipate that this filet is going to take an hour, hour and 15 minutes. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get this potato going. We'll do the 3 stabs on the one side, roll it over, 3 stabs on the other. And this is the salt water. This is the half a cup of water with 2 tablespoons of salt. Just make sure we get that thing nice and wet. Roll it around in there. All right. I'm gonna put it on that wire rack. All right, we're gonna take our temperature probe from our smoke. You know, my oven is really inconsistent. I set my oven at 450 and that thing's gone from 430 to 480. It just bounces. That RecTec, plus or minus 5 degrees guaranteed. It's phenomenal how well that thing works. All right, so we're gonna go right into the middle of this baked potato. That's close. All right, here we go. Okay, so right there we got the baked potato going in. We got the smoke on that thing. So the potato's room temperature 70. Once that heats up a little bit, we'll get the steak going. I think the grill still has, well, let's see what the grill is right now. Okay, grill's at 193. The app says 193. So another 10 or 15 minutes. That grill will be ready to throw in the steak. Here's another cool item from ThermoWorks. I had this time stack. There's 4 timers in one. Timer 1 will beep once, timer 2, timer 3 beeps 3, timer 4 beeps 4. However, it records what you would like it to say. So now this potato at 450 degrees should take 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm going to set my ThermoWorks, and now I'm going to record this. Check the potato. Check the potato. All right, so I set that timer. Now it should be done 45 minutes to an hour, so now I'm going to set the timer for an hour on the other side. And we got it set for an hour. Check the potato. All right, so now I've set it. I put the potato in the oven. I started both timers. So when that timer goes off, it's going to tell me what I'm supposed to look at. What an invention. Okay, as you can see, I set the RecTec for 235, which is a set point. And now I hit actual, it says 235. But where I have my temperature probe in that grill is only 216. So I'm going to go back to my set point. And it's a little cold out today, so I'm going to go ahead and jack this baby up to 240. Well, we'll do 250, and we'll go back to actual, and then I'll bring this grill up to 225 where I want it, and I'm going to put the fillet right where I have the temperature probe. But now that I've set this grill for 240 to cook what I want at 225, this will maintain that temperature the entire cook. It's really amazing. Okay, as you can see, I set the RecTec for 250. It's at 249, and my temperature probe says where I'm going to put my meats 227. It'll probably go up to 230. I've noticed that there's probably a 15-degree difference between what I set it and what it actually is in the grill. So I'm going to go ahead and put the meat on there, and then we'll be right back. Now we're going to put this probe right in the middle. That feels pretty good. We're going to set that right next to that temperature probe. It's measuring the grill temperature, and we're good for about an hour. Meat temperature internal is 56. That's about room temperature. So the grill went down to 183 since I opened the lid. And we'll set the timer. We got the smoke going inside. We'll see how it goes. Now if you look at the smoke gateway, you can tell right here where the dip is. That's where I opened the grill to put the meat on there. And now it's starting to recover. Now that we have the filet on the grill, give it about an hour. I'm going to set my timer. We'll do set. We'll put in 1 hour. Now we'll hit the record button. Check the filet. Check the filet. How easy is that? Awesome. Okay, so I'm looking at the TEC. I set it for 251, but the temperature is going up where my temperature probe is for the meat. So I'm going to go ahead and back this down. I wanted 225. I'm 235, so I'm 10 degrees off. I'm going to go over here to the set temp, and I'm going to take it down 10 degrees, and then we'll go from there and see how it reacts. I backed down the temperature on the TEC, so the actual temperature is 240. The set temperature is 240. So now that the TEC's holding 240, I'm holding 228. That's what, 3 degrees above what I want? So that is absolutely wonderful. We'll leave it here for the rest of the cook, and we'll have a really tasty meal in the end. My goal was to cook at 225. As you can see, my set temp on the RT-680 is 240. The actual temperature is 240, but the temperature where I'm cooking at is actually 224. So now that I've got the temperature set to what I want, by setting the TEC to what it needs to maintain 225 for me, this thing will cook like this all night long. Okay, the grill's at 222, my filet's at 100 degrees, my potatoes at about 180, the oven's at 225, even though I set that at 250. My grill though, I set at 225, is at 222.7. That grill, that TEC pellet grill, I swear by that thing. It is so easy. Until you try it, you won't know what you're missing.
Check the potato.
Hey, there you go. We're going to check the potato. How about that?
Check the potato.
We'll stop that alarm. Potatoes at 183. The grill is at 227. The filet is at 102. So it won't be long now. Oh, and you know, there's a big difference between food safety and chef recommendations. ThermoWorks has a very good guide. Medium rare beef, which I'm shooting for tonight, 130, 135. I'm going to cook my filet to 135, and that is still on the rare side of medium. And what I found is cooking it low and slow like that, is say you overshoot the temperature by 3-4 degrees, 5 degrees, if you take it off the grill, it quits cooking. There is no carryover temp because the mass of the meat is so small and you're not scorching it with high heat that once you take it off the grill, the cooking stops. So that works out really well. So you take it off at 135, it may go up a degree maybe, but if you overshoot your temperature by a few degrees, it won't kill what you're cooking. So the low and slow, I like that, even though you don't have the crispy fat that people like. This steak is going to be buttery tender all the way through. So right now the grill's running at 223. The filet mignon is at 107. Let's go over here, take a look at the potato. potatoes at 191. And it's got, we'll check that potato in 9 more minutes. We got the ThermalWorks Mark IV, Mark II, Mark IV pen. I chose the ThermalWorks Mark IV because this uses AAA batteries. It's really terrible today where you go try to get something with batteries that has watch batteries in it, and you got to figure out which one you've got. AA, AAA, C, D, that's the best way to go in my book, although I'm old. All right, the potatoes at 193. We're going to grab some oil, put it in a bowl so we can roll that potato around in there, put the salt and pepper on it, and then give it that extra 10 minutes when it's ready. And just put a couple tablespoons in there. Just enough to get that baby all nice and wet with oil. Alright. I fat fingered something on my tablet, but I just want to let you know, look how constant that temperature is in that RecTec. I set that to the RecTec's 225 at my meat, and that's a pretty straight line. And right now it's at 110, the grill's at 224. I set the RecTec at like 235 to give me 225. Very happy. The potatoes at 195. You know, look how much that oven dipped. I had that oven set at 450. It went down to 419, 418. The RecTec, when it holds temperature, it holds temperature.
Check the potato. Check the potato.
All right, we'll check the potato. All right, so the potato's done. My filet's at 130 right now. It's got 5 degrees to go. So we'll take the potato out. That'll be okay for a few minutes. We'll just let that sit right there. Turn the oven off. And then once the filet's done, we'll come back, we'll cut that open, cut that potato open, throw some sour cream on it, some butter, we'll be good. Okay, the potato was done, the steak was only at 133, so I went ahead and pulled off the steak at 133 when the potato was done. So I'll also have a bowl of salad. So I just want to show you, I cooked this at 225, and it's probably about an hour, because that's what the potato took. Let's cut into this and see what it looks like. That's a nice looking piece of meat. It's pink all the way through. There is absolutely no gray meat whatsoever. This is going to be delicious. And you know what, if you have a TEC RT-680 or a RecTec, the Mini 300, I really recommend low and slow for the whole cook. I didn't sear before, I didn't sear after. There isn't any fat on this meat. So this is going to be nice and buttery soft, and it's going to be delicious.